All right, everybody. Welcome. It's 11 a.m. conference call. Super excited about this week, starting with the GameStop, eBay stuff. So I lived through all this history of these takeover bids by corporate raiders. We've seen every angle of it. I lived through all of them. All right. I know when they make bids, when they can't afford, you name it, we see them put stocks in play. All right. So GameStop made the bid for eBay, offering them $125 stock in cash, right? We all know that eBay is a much bigger company than GameStop. So if Ryan Cohen has the means to do the transaction, okay, obviously the stock has got to trade back up on eBay. So eBay is a buy just based on that. Number two, if eBay, which I think this is what I really think is going on, is that Ryan Cohen got the wind that someone's interested in eBay, and he bought stock, put it in play, and it's called a white knight, meaning let's say Amazon comes in and makes a $150 bid for the company. Ryan Cohen scores because he has 5% of the stock, right? You'll make money on the stock. He's not going to lose money on the stock. The stock will be, basically break even if that's the worst that happens to him. But I could see eBay getting a white knight, someone making a higher bid, or announcing a big buyback like SanDisk just did. SDNK just announced a big major buyback. They need to get SNDK, I'm sorry. I want to make sure I got that right. They have to get the stock and make their shareholders happy. They got a 125 bid. If you're long eBay, you're screaming, hey, wait a second, you got 125, it's 110. eBay's got to show their shareholders that they're going to get them the value of 125. So eBay, if you can find some cheap calls, okay, I think the game is going to begin on Monday, next Monday. They'll get the whole week. They'll have their conference calls with their board of directors and their big shareholders about what they're going to do. If there is a white knight or someone lurking here, they'll pop out on Monday. I think that Monday, next Monday, is when you're going to get to play in eBay. It may pop up and down here, but that's when it's going to happen. So eBay's going to go up because they have to show the value of the deal or get a better deal. Now, the GameStop, as soon as GameStop gets off the hook on a better deal on eBay, GameStop will turn and go. So if you could buy the 30 calls, not for the May 15th, but the May 22nd, if you can buy them like 40 cents, 35 cents, my option page isn't coming up. If you can get those and buy some time on it while they're pushing it down now, because everyone thinks there's going to be dilution, all right, then the stock will turn, and that's when GameStop will go into the squeeze play mode. All right, so there's your two ideas how to play this whole thing. I don't think they're going to win eBay. I think eBay's going to come up with a plan to get a higher price, remain independent, or if they have a white knight, they'll pop up. The white knight being, Amazon, whoever else could buy eBay. I'm not sure who would buy them. But that's how it always plays out. It's the same thing. The corporate raider, Ryan Cohen, makes the bid, puts it in play. He's positioned. If he wins it, he's okay with it. If he doesn't, that's the way it's going to play out. That's how the three ways this is going to play out. So on GameStop, if you can buy the 30 calls and buy some time for yourself and get them cheap, the 30s, all right, if it goes into play, you're getting in there perfect timing. eBay, they obviously have to drive the stock higher, right, higher than 125. So if there's a white knight, maybe the white knight pays 135, 140, but it'll be a deep pocket big player, someone that could just scoop in that's been looking at eBay. I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Cohen got the tip-off on that. All right, so those are two ideas straight from the takeover days from Ivan Boesky, Ashel Edelman, who I knew, all these guys, Carl Icahn, they all did the same thing. This is the same playbook from 25 years ago. And we lived through it. I lived through every one of those deals. Marvin Davis, all of them. All right, they put it in play, and this is, sometimes these guys sell into the run-ups. Anyway, so you understand the eBay GameStop saga. It's right there. And I told everyone 1,000 times on these calls, Ryan Cohen needs to focus on a business and get away from the short squeeze stuff, right? So he did. All right, and you're not rewarded for it. He needs to focus. If he wanted to focus on anything, he would have focused on the short squeeze. But he needs to do something because I believe that the short's covered in GameStop. Most of it, anyway. There's a big real short, but that's not my business. All right. So again, he needed to do something. He took a big leap here, and I still don't know what Ryan Cohen did for the GameStop community, other than make a bid for the company or to become the CEO. Him and his buddies forced the issue back in the day in 2020, squeezed it, made a ton of money, squeezed Bed Bath & Beyond, made a ton of money, and now he's in charge of GameStop. I don't know what he did, but let's see. Now he's making a bid for eBay. So again, long term, he's got $10 billion. He's not going away. And here's a company that went from a zero to being a hero for one reason, a naked short. And that's what I told you 1,000 times. A naked short is the best business plan on the street. You don't have to build anything, save anybody's life, spend a penny. Just trap the shorts, and look what happens. That's the best business plan in the world. Raise money in it. That stock BIRD raised $50 million on them going into AI. They were going out of business. Now they got AI. They got $50 million in the bank. They were making sneakers before that. Squeeze the shorts. Finger motion will squeeze the shorts. Then they can go out there and buy American Express or go buy Disney. Same nonsense. All right? Squeeze the shorts, raise all the money in the world, and you're off to the races. I said it 1,000 times. Best business plan on the street. Let's look at GDC for a second. Bitcoin is taking off. It's over 80,000 now. I'm not sure exactly where it is. But I believe that there's going to be, I'm hearing that there's going to be some corporate event this week. I think it's going to be someone outsider making a bid for the company. That's my belief. You take it with a grain of salt. But if MicroStrategies keeps moving higher, it's up to, what was the high today? 185. It's up 641. GDC, there's 230 million shares naked shorted, plus 120,000 real shorts. They keep offering, 4,200. They never sell it down. But this stock, if I was short the stock, how could you not take when there's size offered? Just trying to start the cover. Again, this is going to start the panic. If someone comes and makes an $8 bid, they can, if the company allowed it, they can get the company at $8, sell the Bitcoin, and cash out and make themselves, $100 million just by closing the company up and stealing the Bitcoin. The company can't let that happen. The company has to get the stock north of 23. All right. So again, Bitcoin's, just follow Bitcoin. Bitcoin, it's the price times, I think I did it before, 80,000 times 7,500 is like over $600 million in cash. The market cap of the company is $243 million. 243 has got to go past 600 million. All right. The only way that happens is the stock price goes up or Bitcoin collapses, and Bitcoin's going up now. All right. So again, the stock is undervalued to be north of 10, trading at cash value, and it's nowhere near it. All right. This is like Bitcoin price at 30,000, 35,000, maybe a little higher. That's about it. It's at 80. I don't know how any corporate buyer of MicroStrategy hasn't come in here and stolen the Bitcoin from these characters. Anyway, it's all on the tape. When the company sells the Bitcoin, they're going to buy back the stock. That's your back plan. So again, if you have extra cash, it's worth the place to put some money to work there. I gave you the GameStop. I gave you the eBay thoughts. Cheap options on both of them. They could be volatility, but you buy them when no one wants them. All right, cheap options. Cheap, 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 cheap. Just keep looking at that. NRGV, earnings are coming tomorrow. Every insider has been buying the stock up to 2 weeks ago. They're telling you the earnings are going to be good. The business is booming. All these contracts they got going on, the driving revenue, it's going higher. The shorts keep holding it down. Someone asked me the other day, have the shorts covered in NRGV? So I got the new data on it. It's over 770 million shares naked short, and the average price is $295. So it's in the squeeze mode already. All right? But when the stock spiked to 6, someone asked me, do you think the shorts are covering? The shorts don't cover up to 6 and then start shorting it back down to 4. They're not covering. Shorts are covering in Wolf. As you can see, it continues to just grind higher, Wolf. That's shorts covering in Wolf. It's a slow march up now. There's no more selling. All the volatility's out of it, and it just keeps grinding higher. And I'm glad to hear that one of our good shareholders in Finger Motion has been around for a long time, is doing pretty well, and pretty well at still long low from when we told him at $1. So he's very happy about that. He's made back all his money he's lost everywhere else. So congratulations to him. But again, that's covering and Wolf. NRGV hasn't seen any covering yet. If you could buy the $5 calls for this month's expiration, tomorrow is the earnings. If this thing is blowout or anything positive, I think the stock goes right through 5 and begins making its move to a new high of over 635. All right, so that's another cheap play. You know, the company has been nothing but positive. Just you can read it yourself. Do any homework you like. All right. I guess, and you know, Goldman Sachs has always been negative on it. They're going to have to turn soon with a positive report. I could see them coming out with a positive earnings, an upgrade on the stock. All right. They've been doing it, holding it down for some client that's short, but eventually the embarrassment has to turn the analysts around. So I look for that to happen there. So those are three ideas between the GameStop, eBay, GDC, and RGV. You got those three, and I hope they all start to pan out. I'm watching them like a hawk. All right, just wanted to let you know about it. All right, again, GameStop, 0 to hero. I put the little post up there today. 0 to hero. Going bankrupt. Making a bid for $50 billion. How come not one reporter says, isn't it amazing? A company that was going to zero is now making a $50 billion bid and never sold the product, never did anything? Where'd they get the money from? No one addresses that a short squeeze is the most massive way to turn around everything. You saw it in CAR, you saw it in Bird, you saw it in SME, I think it was, I can't remember the similar, SMX or SMX, excuse me, along with other ones that all went crazy. Remember, SMX was 500 to $1.62. So the moral to the story is sell them when they come for them, right? You got to make sure you take your profit when they come. All right, so again, GDC I spoke about, GameStop, eBay, NRGV. Tomorrow the earnings are due. Again, I don't know what they are, but again, let's see what happens there tomorrow. It's worth a shot. They've been holding it down. They don't want it to go up. There's no more selling. They're buying 700,000 shares. I don't know what the calls are trading out. My option page is not working, so I can't see it. But if they're below, you know, if the stock at 435, if you can get the fives with, you know, a week or 2 weeks to go, you know, 35, 40 cents, I would grab them. That's a good play. All right. You get plenty of chances to get out, and you got the earnings tomorrow. And remember, the stock was at 650. So again, hot sector, big deals, insider buying. It's all pointing up to me. All right, unless we get blindsided, I don't think business can go from good, great to bad in one quarter. I don't think that's going to happen, especially in the energy storage sector. Someone pointed out to me about Caterpillar is in this space. Keep an eye on Caterpillar, I'm told. You know, not Caterpillar to buy it, but Caterpillar to be an acquirer of things. All right, that's another name out there. So pay attention to that. You know, keep an eye on it. Read their news. They're bragging about it. All right, NRGV fits right in the middle there, I'm told. All right, so again, that's something else. Let's go back to Finger Motion for a second. First of all, HLP have not heard anything. I'm trying to get an update. When I do, I'll tell you. You can't go back to big players and cry wolf. You guys got to sit there and wait, and hopefully it works. That's my. I learned that lesson many years ago with some of the biggest players on the street. When you call back and start saying, "Hey, the stock's down," they hang up the phone on you. They don't talk about it. That's the way it goes. Finger Motion. I'm looking for a corporate event. I'm looking for things to start happening. We have this contact at the SEC Trading and Markets Division through one of our shareholders. I sent his resume to a bunch of shareholders that I actually have contact with, and they can confirm he's a real deal guy. All right, one of the higher ups. He's not the commissioner, but he's right there. And our good friend we gave him a couple of questions, and all around fails to deliver. We know when you say naked short sellers, the SEC people just start lying. Oh, they just no comments. We can't talk about it. We're going back to the Economist story where the SEC was rattled by the number of fails to deliver. So fails to deliver can be that the dog ate your certificate, which is fake, and if the dog ate your certificate, that could lead to a fail to deliver. There's a little bunch of nonsense things that they always say lead to fail to deliver. But when it fails to deliver is so big and rattle the SEC, who's in charge of enforcing fails to deliver? That was one of the questions. Are they aware how big it is? Things like that. Nothing about naked short selling. We're sticking to fails to deliver, and hopefully our good friend will get him to give us some thought on what they're thinking. We need to figure out what the SEC is thinking about. Maybe this person makes a mistake and gives it to us. All right, but this is as close as you can get to knowing somebody. You can't get any closer. I didn't give him a symbol. I didn't say MMTOP. I didn't say GameStop. I didn't say any of those things. I didn't say finger motion. We want to know the fails to deliver and how big and what they're doing about it. Who's in charge of it if it gets out of control? All right, because it is very damaging to the system. All right, so on finger motion, again, we're waiting for a corporate event. We're waiting for I wrote down, I'm blank for a second. I'm sorry, everybody. My mind's going too quick today. Oh, here it is. Bingo, my number one play, corporate news, big player. We told about the big players. We talked about that. SKYQ is where they made a ton of money from 3 to 19. So if you bought in at 3 and you bought 10,000 shares and sold it at 10, you made 70,000. When your leader of that group, whoever it may be, calls you up, 99.9% of the people that all made the money in that name are coming to the next one. So even if you bought finger motion at $1 and it never went anywhere, you break even. If it went to zero, you lose $1. So the people from SKYQ will look at this thing and say, I made 7. I'm only risking 1. I still got 6 in my pocket, okay, in profit. They'll buy the stock. So that group is coming. Again, I don't control them. I don't know who they are. I know where they made their money. That I know. And they're coming. They're coming our way. That's a fact. Okay, I don't know who they are, but they're coming our way. And it's coming, they said, within 2 weeks. And we're getting right to that point. I wrote something else about finger. I'm sorry, I turned it off for a second. Huge winner and $500 million to cover. Who knows what the SEC is going to do? But as long as GameStop keeps the meme stock in the press, all right, we're going to turn it from a meme stock to how did a company with nothing get billions of dollars without building anything? No one wants to address that. A naked short squeeze caused this company to raise billions of dollars. All right, caught all the bad guys upside down. And now they're showing you how powerful it is. How powerful it is that this guy can make a $55 billion bid for a company. And a big company. All right? This is like no joke anymore. This is major league stuff here. All right? So I'll just recap it again. Just go through our names. GDC, I think it's in play. Bitcoin is driving higher. Just do the math. The stock is worth north of 10 right now. It's trading at Bitcoin price 30,000, 33,000, something like that. The stock has to go past 23 because the guy who did the transaction with GDC, he got 39 million shares at 23. There's only 17 million shares between here and there. I don't believe the guy with 39 million shares is going to lose half his money. All right, so I think this Bitcoin's going to run. They're going to sell the stock at the end of the day, and they're going to have to start buying back the stock, and that'll drive it to the moon. There's 233 million shares short. I posted that 20,000 times already for you to see. NRGV, earnings out tomorrow. The $5 calls, if you can get them cheap, it's worth a shot. The stock is cheap too if you have the money, but if you wanted to get leverage, you buy 100 calls at 30 cents, you're putting up 3,000 versus buying 10,000 shares at $4, you need 40,000. That's the beauty of options, and you only risk what you invest. So if you see the $5 calls coming in, it's worth a shot. The stock's down 3 cents today. And the stock is always manipulated down first. Every day it does it. It goes down. At the end of the day, it pops up. Remember the other day it went to 471 before they attacked it back down. So again, the attacks down are these guys trying to get you to bail out. That's not happening. People are buying the dips in this name now. All right. So again, I look for upgrades, maybe Goldman, maybe another brokerage firm. I don't know. I think the insider buying is giving you a tip that the earnings are going to be good. Pay attention. These are great trading ideas that are not. I'm not going to put anybody and tell them to go buy SanDisk or those crazy names because you could get wiped out in a second. You see it in these things. They're up and down 20 points a day. It's hard to tell people what to do on a thing. Option values. It's very difficult. All right, so I try to stay away from those names. Things that are slow and steady that give you an opportunity to get in and out, it's a different play. All right, they don't always work, but I try to take the risk out of the play as best I can. There's always risk. So if the SEC is listening, we're just giving ideas on how people can not get ripped off by the Wall Street crews, these crooks. So again, anyway, finger motion, I told you, there's 500 million shares short. We've got a group that's coming in to start buying. They were spoofing this morning 10,000 shares at $1. When the market opened up, it disappeared. Last week, there was 120,000 shares for sale at 98 cents. That disappeared. I guess the seller didn't want to sell it. He was just spoofing it on Friday, remember, late in the day. I would have got someone to take it, but I just couldn't make the calls quick enough. It disappeared. All right, so again, they were spoofing that on Friday. You can see that there's no selling in the stock. You have to buy it if you want to get involved before it goes. You don't want to be chasing a name, right? I'll use GDC, for example. They bashed it down to 235, I think it was on March 21st, I think I wrote down. And I kept yelling, it's based on, they were just trying to flush out longs. They drove it all the way down. They tried to do it the other day when they said the company's raising money. These are attempts to get people to sell, yet the stock keeps trying to trend higher. It's just based on Bitcoin. It's the same pattern in all these things. They smash them down, and then they're trying to scoop it back up. NRGV, that same pattern. 471 down to 410. It digs in, it goes back up. You saw that with GameStop. They were, before the news came out, it was trending higher. On Friday, the stock was ready to explode. People knew the news was coming, obviously. All right? But now they're afraid of the dilution, and I think it's going to be the opposite way. If the GameStop people, obviously with the stock going down, Ryan Cohen's got to give more stock. It means more dilution. So it becomes negative for the eBay people. They're going to sit there and say, hey, this deal ain't going to work. He can't fund it properly. You'll see the stupid stories come out about that. So eBay is probably worth the play because they're going to have to do better. They put it in play. And GameStop, once they lose the bid to eBay, that stock will take off. That's when it'll go. All right, so again, you got to buy them when they don't want them. Finger motion is primed, ready to go. It's my number one pick. I stand by it. I've been documenting it for years, not 2 weeks, not an hour, years. We know who the crooks are. I don't know how the SEC allows these guys to get rich and just sit here and not say anything. I can't believe Trump is not doing anything when he sees GameStop making a bid of $55 billion and his company with his name on it, Trump Media, doing shit. Devin Nunes, I know he got kicked out of it. He's on a committee now. How they're not investigating after making all the noise about naked short selling is just amazing. And it tells me that Trump is not that stupid. Something's coming out on naked short selling. We've been hearing it, and I believe it's going to happen. All right? These things are slowly grinding out. The play in the market is to the upside and the naked short selling names. They're not shorts anymore. They're trying to cover. These are longs. These opportunities don't come along. I'm doing this a long time. It's very, very, very hard to find a naked short selling stock that's going to explode. But when you study it, look at Kodak. I talked about that. Many people know I talked about it. Now that's grinding higher. 1465 now. Made a high of 1477. It had 1 billion shares naked shorted. I haven't paid attention to the trading in it for a while once it broke out. And here it is. It just keeps grinding higher. Means the shorts are trying to cover. It has the same look as Wolf, grinding higher. That's when the shorts throw the towel in. The volatility disappears and it grinds higher. NRGV has not had that yet. Okay? Wolf has had it. Kodak has it. Finger Motion absolutely has not had it. GDC is trying to get into that range where it starts to grind. Soon you're going to see the bids and no offers in that name also. All right, that's how it works. Right now you start seeing the spoofing. Those are the shorts trying to hold it down. Once it reverses and goes the other way, you'll see the bids and no offers. That's why you have to buy these names like Finger Motion, GDC, NRGV, when no one's paying attention to it, or GME right now. Buy them when they don't want them. When they come for them, don't chase it. You have your opportunities now. I laid out every scenario in those names. All right, everyone, have a great day. I got a pickleball game at 12. I got to run out, and I got a tournament to play in. So I'll speak to you later, and good luck today. Thank you.